Good morning, good morning, good morning, good people. Good afternoon, good evening to you, depending where you're listening to across the world. It's a great day for transformation. Today is July the 11th, 2023. Welcome to another morning manifestation session. I am your host, leader and founder of One Transformation Center, where we celebrate humanity. It is our mission, our absolute intention to inspire, motivate, and heal lives and relationships across the globe. And we like to consider ourselves your proverbial fuel station, as we're filling you up so you don't have to worry about running on empty. So join us today as we provide you with the tools and the resources, the inspiration and the motivation that you need in order to continue your journey of evolution, your journey of elevation, your journey of transformation, your journey of reconnection with who you are and whose you are. So we give thanks this morning, and we're excited to be with you. Let's take a moment. And wherever you're listening from this morning, let's like the stream. It doesn't cost you a thing. Like the stream for me, please. Whether you're listening on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter, share it on your social media spaces to invite others to join us, because you know they say, it ain't no fun if your homies can't have none. In addition to that, let's go ahead and use a comment. Let us know what you're thinking today. Let us know where you're tuning into today. You can give live feedback as well to the message and lessons, just by using the hashtag morning manifestation. So, without any further ado, what do we do in the morning, you may ask, if you're here for the first time? Well, first thing we do is we do some stretching and breathing exercise to get us open, to get us reaching beyond our limitations and have us to be in the space of receptivity. Then we transition over to our oath of manifestation, followed by our affirmative reading, and we conclude with our prayer of gratitude. Well, if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go ahead and get it started. So go ahead. Let's get ourselves still enough in the space that we can receive for the next 20, 30 minutes. All right, as I stated before, we begin each session with stretching and breathing exercises. And the first thing I want us to do is nothing. Just simply be still. And in your stillness, listen to your breathing. I want you to listen how you inhale and exhale naturally. Just going to be in a space of mindfulness now. Be very present with where we are. Feel ourselves in the spaces that we're in. You can do this with your eyes closed or open. Now, the stretching exercises can occur whether you're seated or standing. Let's begin by lifting our hands above our head. And reach. Stretch as high as you can. As the great motivational speaker and author Les Brown states, reach for the moon, for if you fall, you will land amongst the stars. Bring your arms back down to the side. Turn your torso to the left, with your chin to your left shoulder, and stretch. Stretch, and return to the middle. Now to the right side, stretch. Hold it, stretch, and return to the middle. Now back to the left again. Stretch. Stretch beyond the first experience. Now back to the middle. And return to the right and stretch deeper, further than before. And back to the middle. Now I want you to roll your shoulders backwards, releasing the stress and tension from your shoulders. For there is no need for you to carry the weight of the world. And rotate them to the front. For everything works together for your best and highest good. You just have to trust the process. Now raise your hands above your head once again. And stretch further than the time before. Reach beyond your own limitations. Reach into the clouds to pull down everything that you desire. Everything that is supporting you in this right now moment. Everything that is working together for your best and highest good. Bring your arms back down to the side. Now, shake it out. And as we shake it, we're going to prepare to take some intentional breaths. And with each inhale, we're allowing and aligning ourselves with everything that works together for our best and highest good. Every person, every place, everything. And with each exhale through our mouths, we are releasing every limitation, every fear, every frustration, every anger, every disappointment, everything that no longer supports us, that no longer is operating in concordance with our good. Now let's begin to take a deep breath through our nose. And exhale through our mouth. Again, deep breath through your nose as deep as you can. And release through your mouth. Again, deeper than before, allowing for expansion. And release. For these next couple of breaths, you will continue to inhale deeply while exhaling at a staccato rate. A staccato breath like such. Pushing the air as well as everything that is lingering that no longer supports you. Inhale deeply with me through your nose. And release. Again, inhale. exhale. One last time. Inhale as deep as you possibly can, expanding your lungs, filling yourself up with oxygen. Breathe. And release. Good job. Now roll your shoulders backwards one more time. And then reverse it to the front. Now shake it out. Doesn't that feel amazing? Don't you feel the blood circulating at a much faster pace? That's what it feels like to be alive. All right, good people. Now it's time for our oath of manifestation. The oath is the promise that you make to yourself. It is the oath, the promise to align with everything that is seen and unseen, heard and unheard, that is known and unknown, tangible and intangible, that which is expected and unexpected. Take a moment now to join me in this declaration. And we're going to declare together with passion. And we affirm, I accept and receive unexpected good, unexpected money, unexpected love, unexpected kindness, unexpected generosity, unexpected prosperity, unexpected offers, unexpected prosperity, coming in unexpected ways from unexpected places in my life and in the life of others. I am constantly guided and boldly empowered to receive the lavish abundance of the universe. I accept the principle that abundance and prosperity have already been given to me. My acceptance makes it real and opens the space for manifestation to rush in. I open wide the doors of my consciousness to receive and to give. It is done now. Through this oath of manifestation, all things are possible. I declare absolutely that I live in a friendly universe that is always providing for me. I feel it powerfully happening now. I open to receive more abundance and to give more abundance than I have ever experienced before. I can afford anything I desire. In fact, I am so prosperous, I need never worry again. I am grateful for all that I already have, and grateful for all that I'm ready to give. I keep myself lifted in high consciousness, no matter what the appearances are. God is all there is. I let the God times roll, and so it is. And so it is. Now take these promises, this oath, this declaration, and place it on the mantle of your heart, keeping it at the forefront of your mind, giving way for it to delve deep down into the core of your being, activating every cell in your body and re-engineering your DNA to be in alignment with everything that is expected and unexpected, that is known and unknown, seen and unseen, with the understanding that it is operating for your best and highest good. For you are worthy. Now it's time for us to transition to our affirmative reading of the day. Our affirmative reading comes from A Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles, but you can find it at acim.org. Again, you can find it at acim.org. I am placing today's reminder or lesson into the chat for you to follow along with us, or just review it on your own time to get your own understanding. Because we believe in the Proverbs that states, in getting, get an understanding. In all thy getting, get an understanding. And today's lesson derives from 191, lesson 191, which reminds us that we have a function God would have us to feel. That we have a function that God would have us to feel. So as we prepare for this statement, as we prepare for the narrator to go ahead and to read to us and share with us the essence of this lesson, to remind us of this function, I want you to repeat after me. I have a function God would have me feel. One more time. I would have a function God would have me feel. Let's take a listen.
Lesson 192. I have a function God would have me fill. It is your Father's holy will that you complete Himself, and that yourself shall be His sacred Son, forever pure as He, of love created and in love preserved, extending love, creating in its name, forever one with God and with yourself. Yet what can such a function mean within a world of envy, hatred, and attack? Therefore you have a function in the world in its own terms. For who can understand a language far beyond his simple grasp? Forgiveness represents your function here. It is not God's creation, for it is the means by which untruth can be undone. And who would pardon heaven? Yet on earth, you need the means to let illusions go. Creation merely waits for your return to be acknowledged, not to be complete. Creation cannot even be conceived of in the world. It has no meaning here. Forgiveness is the closest it can come to earth. For being heaven-born, it has no form at all. Yet God created one who has the power to translate in form the wholly formless. What He makes are dreams, but of a kind so close to waking that the light of day already shines in them, and eyes already opening, behold the joyful sights their offerings contain. Forgiveness gently looks upon all things unknown in heaven, sees them disappear, and leaves the world a clean and unmarked slate on which the Word of God can now replace the senseless symbols written there before. Forgiveness is the means by which the fear of death is overcome, because it holds no fierce attraction now, and guilt is gone. Forgiveness lets the body be perceived as what it is, a simple teaching aid, to be laid by when learning is complete, but hardly changing him who learns at all. The mind without the body cannot make mistakes. It cannot think that it will die, nor be the prey of merciless attack. Anger becomes impossible, and where is terror then? What fears could still assail those who have lost the source of all attack, the core of anguish, and the seat of fear? Only forgiveness can relieve the mind of thinking that the body is its home. Only forgiveness can restore the peace that God intended for His Holy Son. Only forgiveness can persuade the Son to look again upon His holiness. With anger gone, you will indeed perceive that, for Christ's vision and the gift of sight, no sacrifice was asked, and only pain was lifted from a sick and tortured mind. Is this unwelcome? Is it to be feared? Or is it to be hoped for, met with thanks, and joyously accepted? We are one, and therefore give up nothing. But we have indeed been given everything by God. Yet do we need forgiveness to perceive that this is so. Without its kindly light, we grope in darkness, using reason but to justify our rage and our attack. Our understanding is so limited that what we think we understand is but confusion born of error. We are lost in mists of shifting dreams and fearful thoughts, our eyes shut tight against the light, our minds engaged in worshiping what is not there. Who can be born again in Christ but him who has forgiven everyone he sees or thinks of or imagines? Who could be set free while he imprisons anyone? A jailer is not free, for he is bound together with his prisoner. He must be sure that he does not escape, and so he spends his time in keeping watch on him. The bars that limit him become the world in which his jailer lives along with him, and it is on his freedom that the way to liberty depends for both of them. Therefore hold no one prisoner. Release instead of bind, for thus are you made free. The way is simple. Every time you feel a stab of anger, realize you hold a sword above your head, and it will fall or be averted as you choose to be condemned or free. Thus does each one who seems to tempt you to be angry represent your Savior from the prison house of death. And so you owe him thanks instead of pain. Be merciful today. The Son of God deserves your mercy. It is he who asks that you accept the way to freedom now. Deny him not. His Father's love for him belongs to you. Your function here on earth is only to forgive him, that you may accept him back as your identity. He is as God created him, and you are what he is. Forgive him now his sins, and you will see that you are one with him.
That is from lesson 191. I have a function God would have me feel. I want us just to ponder on this for a moment. Just ponder on this for a moment. There were some very key points that were mentioned in this lesson. And one of them was the freedom that was granted to you.
Lesson 192.
The freedom that was granted to you to understanding that your body is nothing more than a teaching aid. Your body is nothing more than a teaching aid. And I want you to think about that for a moment, because we do give so much prestige. We give such a great priority to this physical essence that returns to dust. We constantly want to feed it, not to live, not to provide the nutrients and the supplements that it needs in order to fulfill God's will, or the will that our minds dictate. We think that our bodies dictate our minds' experiences. And part of that comes because we have a misunderstanding and we conflate the mind and our brains. For the brain is something that exists, that is a part of this physical element, this physical specimen. It is inclusive to it. The mind is something that exists before and that is after the retirement of this physical body, this vehicle, this vessel. The mind is an extension of the Creator. It holds all the wisdom and knowledge. It is the direct assessment. It is in parallel to the mind, body, and spirit. It is in parallel to the Holy Trinity. Yet, we don't spend a lot of time being mindful. For we think that the body, in the essence that it does, the appearance of strength that it has, we think that there's a durability that is much greater than the one that the mind provides, even though the mind itself exists in eternity. Yet the body deteriorates. It reminds us that the body is merely a teaching session. It's a teaching lesson. So if you listen to the body will start to give you symptoms and signals of things that are wrong in your mind, not the other way around. The body will tell you how you're out of alignment. But what are you supposed to be in alignment with? Your mind. For first, the information is in your mind, and then it's taken and it's computed into the brain. It's delivered into the brain. And from the brain, it is downloaded into the rest of the body. The brain gives instructions to the body. But without the mind, the brain doesn't have any instructions to give. It is merely living off of memories. And these memories in the brains can become convoluted. They become circumstantial. They can very easily become your identity, instead of you truly having an understanding of who you are and whose you are. For the brain would keep you in this endless loop, trying to figure its way out. Yet, the mind has the vision, has the clarity, understands the objective, and is consistent with it. So I challenge you today to let go of the need to make your body a priority and to be anything other than a vehicle that follows the instructions, that supports the agenda of your mind. Not your brain, but your mind. Now, until we do so, we have to understand that forgiveness is necessary. Forgiveness is required. Hence the reason why it says You have a function in the world that is in the world in its own terms. You have a function in the world in its own terms. Whose terms? The world's terms. For heaven doesn't know anything about forgiveness. Forgiveness does not exist in heaven. For heaven, there is no wrong. There just is. But yet, we're out of sync here on this space in this world of the body, the world of the brain. We're not in synchronicity. And so with that being the case, there must be spaces and that we give forgiveness so that we can reconnect. That we can bring that bridge of separation. We can mend that bridge of separation. So forgiveness is your function. It's not something that God has created. It's something that the world has created. Now, I've been told, I've heard on many occasions about why it's hard to forgive. And I share with people on many occasions the reason why you need to forgive. Forgiveness is not about the other person or the other thing that you're holding on to. Forgiveness is for you. You may say, what do you mean forgiveness is for me? Forgiveness is for you because the longer you carry that burden, whatever it may be, but as long as you carry that perceived failed relationship, that grievance, as long as you carry that, the more disconnected you are from the truth of who you are and your blessings and your gifts, your opportunities. But now it also makes you a jailer. Today's lesson in paragraph number 8, it says, who could be set free while he imprisons anyone? A jailer is not free, for he is bound together with his prisoner. I want you to think about that for a moment. I've heard this saying before. Not even a spiritual connotation and spiritual context. I've heard it from those who have been imprisoned. And they make these remarks towards the prison guards. And they say to them, how smart is it for someone to get paid to be in prison? And they share with them and say, you are here longer, you are in prison longer than those of us who have done the perceived crime. And if you think about it, they are. For they get up and come to work each day, 5 days a week, 6. How many hours a day? At least 8 to 10. For however long they're at that job, 20, 30 years. While most inmates aren't there that long. Yeah, they may be there 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But for how long? And when they leave there, most of them do not want to return back. But yet, the prison guard, the jailer, is tied and tethered to that space. A space of depravity, a space of dysfunction, a space of controlled chaos. And it becomes reflected in their life. So ask yourself, how much longer do you want to continue to be held captive? How much longer do you want to hold yourself captive to something that is already freed? That grievance that you have is already free. That person that you have a grievance with is already freed. They've moved on. They're having different experiences while you're still holding on to that grievance. So I encourage you today, be merciful. For the Son of God deserves your mercy. Let's break down that sentence real quickly. The Son of God is not outside of who you are. It is who you are. This statement is saying that you deserve mercy. And it continues to say, it is who asks that you accept the way to freedom now. It is your soul. It is your spirit. It is your mind asking you to emancipate itself. Many of us think about the effects of slavery. And it brings to mind the statement from great abolitionist and former enslaved person who is attributed the quote, "I would have freed more if they knew they were slaves." I want you to think about how that reflects you where you are currently. You would have greater experiences if you knew that if you really understood how you were holding yourself captive to limited experiences. You would have unconditional love if you understood that you were truly holding yourselves captive to conditions. You would have endless joy if you understood that you were holding yourselves, bounding yourselves to joyless experiences. Happiness would not be fleeting to you. Your peace will surpass all understanding if you understood that you're not your circumstance or your situation. Therefore, hold no one prisoner. Hold no fault prisoner. Be willing to let go of relationships. Don't hold people into spaces, into times that they do not desire to be bound to. For the more that you bind someone, the more that you enslave yourself, the more that you hold yourself captive. But yet, if you desire freedom, you have the responsibility to first to give that freedom. Take a moment just to sit, let that sink in. This statement right here on the screen, let that sink in. The experiences, the people, places, and things that you are experiencing are as God created them. And you are what they are. Forgive them now, and you will see that you are one with them. You will see the majestic nature of them. You will see how they were here to support you. They were here for your best and highest good, not to harm you. You will see that they weren't here to vilify you or to victimize you, but they were here to create victors of you, to show you a greater sense of victory. Allow yourself to receive that today. Release that which imprisons you. Every thought, every action, every behavior, every fear, every frustration, every disappointment, every dis-ease, let it go. For it is not who you are. It is not your identity. Your circumstances and situations are not your identity, for you are a spiritual being having a human experience. You are an extension and reflection of all that is powerful, all that is always present, all that is all-knowing. For you are a chosen generation, a peculiar person. You are a royal priesthood. You are a lineage. You are an extension and reflection of the Master Creator. Let go of these things that bind you to anything less than that. The things that bind you to limitations, the things that bind you to incarceration, the things that bind you to conditions and frustrations and dis-ease, dysfunction, to chaos. Let it go. So that you can go forth and shine brighter than you've ever shined before. This is your charge today. Let it go. For you have the function God would have you to feel. There is a purpose. There is a reason why you are here in this moment that is essential for you to be present. But yet, if you're tethered, you cannot be free to be. Let's give a space and time now for an affirmative prayer. Father, Mother, God, guardian angels, all that works together for our absolute best and highest good, we say thank you for this lesson. Thank you for this blessing. Thank you for waking us up this morning and setting our feet on the firm ground, preparing our minds to go forth and be the light that you have designed for us to be, that we have agreed to be in our soul contract. Thank you for relinquishing and removing the tethers, for us to giving us the power, the strength, the authority to let go, to trust in your will, to release ourselves from these egotistical natures that are limiting us and preventing us from being able to be all that you have designed us to be. We give thanks today for the courage to walk away, to remove the handcuffs, to disattach, to disengage from our fears, from our frustrations, from our limitations, from our past experiences, and that we will give the function of forgiveness to those things that we have held captive, that we have placed a narrative upon in order for us to feel better, in order for us to have an illusion of supremacy. We let go. We focus not on the things that we cannot control and be present to the mindful space that we exist in this very moment, embracing the unique gift of the present. We give thanks today, and we affirm that we shall go forth untethered, allowing your light to shine in the most darkest spaces, giving permission for people to understand and to remember who they are and whose they are, to begin to tap into by way of our reflection, the way of the illumination of your light within us, so that they too may shine. We ask that your will is done today on earth as it is in heaven. And so it is. Amen and Ashe. All right, good people, that concludes our session for today. A little lengthy, but I hope that it blessed you. Leave us a message. Let us know how this lesson affected you. What did you get from this session today? You can do that in any of the chats where you're listening to right now. And if you don't mind, leave us a hashtag. Do it so with a hashtag of morning manifestation as well. In addition, if you missed any part of today's session, feel free to go to YouTube, if you're not already there, to the One Transformation Center YouTube page, and look for the live and see Morning Manifestation Session, July 11th, 2023. There, begin to listen from the beginning and share it with other people. So once you arrive there, please immediately just hit the like button. It doesn't take a moment out of your time. You can share it to your social media spaces and comment and let us know what you received in today's session. How this blessed you. And we'd like to thank you for and continuing to invest in your transformation. And we hope that you continue to join us Monday through Friday at 5 a.m. as part of the 5 a.m. Club. Or if you're listening to the replay, that's fine as well. Whichever is convenient for you. And also check out some other content that's there as well. As you may see our transformative conversations and Transform My Life stream as well. And if you're inspired to support, to provide even more support, feel free to support our mission with a donation via Giveify. Just go there and find the One Transformation Center space and Giveify, and you can contribute whatever denomination that you desire. It all is greatly appreciated. I'll put this in the chat as well for you to be able to click on it as you're there. Or you can go to the Cash App and do so there as well. Cash App. Samuel Armby Jr. And in closing, we'd like to give thanks for you being here today. Thank you for listening. And as we go forth, I want you to remember to be the change you desire to see today. Until next time, we love you. We embrace you. We honor you. And we see God in you. Continue to be great, good people.